Hi everyone, Michelle Melendez with Blossom Inner Wellness and StandTogetherHawaii.com, and I just want to send you guys all a Mele Kalikimaka. So I hope you guys have an amazing Merry Christmas and that you're connecting with family and friends, forgiving each other, forgiving yourself, and opening up to more joy and peace because when you feel it, the world gets better. So I do want to share that. I am always really interested and intrigued by the origins of why we do things. What is the origin of this weird funky hat that I'm wearing? Where did it come from? Where it came from is going to blow your mind, and it might be a little disturbing. So just a little warning with that. Has nothing to do with Jesus. This is actually thousands and thousands of years prior to Christianity is where this hat started to was came from, the origins of why we wear it, where it came from. And also, why do we decorate Christmas trees? Why do we give gifts? If you can believe Christmas any way that you want, and bringing in more love and connection is great for everyone. And I've always said that this world is not what we think it is. We have been programmed and we to believe certain things and to behave certain ways, and that's by design. So it's good to know the origins of things. If you like this video, please like it, subscribe, share, and let's get started with the origins of this funky hat that's called a Santa hat, but it's actually really a Phrygian hat. And I'm going to share a video with you guys. I'm going to do a screen share to show you guys a little bit more about this cap. This is called a Phrygian cap, and it was worn by the demigod named Attis. And I'm going to share his story. But who wore this cap? This is the Revolutionary War. Look at, she's wearing this Phrygian cap. This guy, it says that it's a bright red Phrygian cap, has long been associated with revolution, freedom from oppression, and anti-colonialism. So it's actually a sign of freedom and liberty. And that's actually where the what it was shown as, or what in ancient times what it was, what it represented. It represented freedom. This guy, this is at UGE Tube, and he's going to share a little bit of a story about this Phrygian cap. Oh, let me make sure that the sound is on, because otherwise you won't be able to hear him. Sound is on. All right, here we go. Allow.
Phrygian cap. This may look familiar to you. You may see it in such modern day renditions as the Smurf or lawn gnome. However, the history of this cap is far more esoteric and dates back into BC, Babylonian, and Sumerian times. However, I'm going to begin talking about Phrygia, and this was an area of ancient Anatolia, which is now basically modern day Hungary. And
So I want to kind of move forward. Phrygia was basically Turkey, and I want to move forward to about 103.
was the main god that they worshipped in Phrygia as the mother of the hunt, Mother Earth, or simply Mother. But this was the main god that they worshipped in Phrygia.
Name was Cybele.
What's interesting about her is the mythos story behind her. Now, they say that she ruled from heaven and she was always accompanied by her two lions.
So I want to go forward a little bit more, because basically this was her name was Cybele, and she was the god who ruled over the earth for Phrygia at that time.
Being. And her story says that she sits and watches over Phrygia, and one day she notices Attis. Attis is a young Phrygian boy, and she becomes infatuated with Attis, basically using her godly powers to seduce him. And as the mythical narrative goes, or as the story goes, as the god story goes of Phrygia, they say that this drove the boy mad.
Now this next part, FYI, is disturbing. It's just a warning. It's a picture. It's a little bit disturbing. So just, if you don't want to see it, just skip over that part.
And this caused him to castrate himself. And at the time in Phrygia, they say, sacrificing bulls to their mother god, who also went by the name of Cybele. And it's interesting, Cybele, because she was a larger woman. So just funny that maybe that's where the word belly originally comes from, but I digress. So this act is done by Attis of basically changing himself forever. And while the bull is being sacrificed to Cybele, they start removing the scrotum of the bull. And this is what the Phrygian cap is made out of. It was initially basically an emblem to represent Attis and his sacrifice. And this was made by the Phrygians to be worn by the most noble of their men to show their dedication to their faith.
I just want to stop the screen, and if you were blown away, I was blown away when I learned. I was like, oh my gosh. But this also represents, I mean, it says, you know, the most noble of their people because of Attis's sacrifice, which self-mutilation. Isn't that interesting of what's happening right now with our keiki, so our children. So anyway, I'm going to keep going with this story because it does have a happy ending. This represented liberty. You know, you saw the woman and the revolution. Yes, there was a lot of different things that it represented with that. I want to do another screen share because the story's not over with this. I want to go to, oh, exit. Okay. I want to go to the fact that after Attis died, he died under, you guys, he died under a pine tree. He died under a pine tree. What is the Christmas tree that we bring into our houses? It's usually a pine tree. And what happened was his blood, they say in the myth that his blood actually created the violet flowers, and that Cybele decorated the pine tree with violet flowers. She actually decorated the pine tree with violet flowers. Later on in the Christian the Christian Reformation with the priest Martin Luther, he actually put candles on the tree to represent the stars, is what that kind of ancient, that story goes with that. But the very first pine tree that was decorated was from this myth of violet flowers. I just thought that that was very interesting. So I'm going to do another screen share, and I'm going to keep sharing with you the story because it's not over. The story is not over. It keeps going. The origins of the Christmas tree. It never says in the Bible to have a Christmas tree. In fact, it talks about, where is it? It says, take a look at Jeremiah 10:1-5. Hear what the Lord says to the people of Israel. This is the word, what the Lord says. Do not learn the ways of the nations or be terrified by signs in the heavens, though the nations are terrified by them. And there's a whole reason for that. I'm not going to share that in this video because that's a whole nother video and it's fantastic. I'll share that later. For the practices of the people are worthless. They cut a tree out of the forest, and craftsman shapes it with his chisel. They adorn it with silver and gold. They fasten it with a hammer and nails so it will not totter. Like a scarecrow in a cucumber field, their idols cannot speak. They must be carried because they cannot walk. Do not fear them. They cannot do no harm, nor can they do any good. Now, if you're like, Michelle, I love my Christmas tree. Hey, I love Christmas trees too. You don't have to make it mean anything. I'm just sharing with you the origins of where this stuff comes from. And you can have a Christmas tree and enjoy it and decorate it and light it up. But, you know, make it mean whatever you want to make it mean. I would personally bring in a plastic tree. My friend has a plastic palm Christmas tree, and it's super, super cute. But it always kind of disturbed me to cut down a tree. I was like, why are we killing something and then putting this beautiful dead thing in our house? It's just, so anyway, that's me. That's my stuff. This is just a video I thought I'd share because I thought it was interesting. You don't have to believe anything, and you can always have whatever you want your Christmas tree to mean to you, have that mean that way. Okay, I'm gonna keep going because it's not over. The story's not over. It keeps getting very interesting. So then that was thousands of years ago. That was 40 what is it called? Common Era, CE, 40 CE to 143 CE, Common Era. So thousands of years prior to Christianity, prior to Jesus of Nazareth, thousands of years. So also thousands of years prior to Christianity was this other story, and I'm not going to share the whole story, but I'm just going to share one date, and it was the story of Mithra. And Mithra was the sun god of the Persians, and he was believed to be born on December 25th. And this is the reason, because of the solstice, because the Mithra was the god of light. But look at what he's wearing. He's wearing a Phrygian cap, and he's literally killing this bull. And the bull represented creation. It represented the world. So this is a different creation story thousands of years ago, thousands of years ago. And so I just wanted to share just that brief little story about Mithra, but also the Sol Invictus was another god of the Roman Empire, which was the sun god. So we have Mithra, who was a god of light and contracts, and the god Sol Invictus, which was the Roman sun god, also celebrated his birth on December 25th. So here's the thing that people need to understand is that a lot of Christian holidays are brought in together on top of pagan holidays, because they were already holidays being celebrated. So they were already holidays being celebrated, and they had different traditions with those holidays, and they put Christianity on top of it, and they immersed it. And so together. And there's nothing bad about that. It's just, what is it? Where did it come from? That's all this video is about, where it came from. One more thing that's super interesting, because I think this is fascinating. I don't know about you guys. I love to learn the truth. I'm a truth seeker. Check this one out. This is called Saturnalia. Saturnalia was this is really cool, was a massive celebration in Rome. And Saturnalia held in mid-December in an ancient Roman pagan festival honoring the agriculture god Saturn, because of when the holiday occurred near the winter solstice. Saturnalia celebrations are the source of many of the traditions we now associate with Christmas, such as wreaths, candles, feasting, and gift giving. It started here in Saturnalia. Look, he's got a wreath on his head. They had wreaths. They would celebrate. Saturnalia, the most popular holiday on the ancient Roman calendar, derived from older farming-related rituals of mid-winter on the winter solstice. And they celebrated this because it was cold, and the darkness, it was the shortest days of the year. So it was a lot of times, if you didn't have that celebration, it would be cold and dreary and but now you have this celebration of gift giving and feasting and wearing wreaths and decorating your house. Decorating your house this comes from Saturnalia, from the Roman holiday Saturnalia. It also says people decorated their homes with wreaths and other greenery and shed their traditional togas. And I'll do a screen share so you guys can see where it says that. It's really interesting. And in favor of colorful clothes. And then what happens is even the slaves didn't work. In fact, their owners of the slaves actually fed them. It was actually reversed. So the owners would actually serve the slaves during this time. On the last day of Saturnalia celebrations, many Romans gave their friends and loved ones small terracotta figurines. So they gave them small gifts. And there was let's see here. I wanted to read one more thing on this. The Christmas holiday of Christmas especially owes many traditions to the ancient Roman festival, including the time of year. The Bible doesn't give a date of Jesus's birth. In fact, theologians have concluded he was probably born in the spring, as suggested by references to shepherds and sheep in the nativity story. So, Christian churches settled celebrating Christmas on Christmas 25th, which allowed them to incorporate the holiday with Saturnalia and other popular pagan winter traditions. Isn't that interesting? Before the end of the fourth century, many of the traditions of Saturnalia, including gift giving, singing, lighting candles, feasting, and merriment, had become absorbed by the traditions of Christmas, as many of us now know. So the other thing, I find it interesting that it's the solstice, and the solstice means sol means sun, sistis means stop. So the solstice is when the sun it doesn't really stop, but it looks like it stops in the sky for 3 days, and then it comes back and returns to the light. So that is the solstice, December 21st, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth day, or fourth day is the 25th. So I hope this was interesting for you guys. I hope it didn't disturb any of you. I just love to know the origins of things like this hat. I'm like, this is a really weird hat. And the only time of year we wear it is during Christmas. So where the heck does it come from and why do we do it? And so I just, if you guys like this, please like and subscribe. The sponsor of my channel is Ace of Coins, ACEOFCOINS. If you want help with your taxes, check out Ace of Coins. If you want to buy Bitcoin tax-free, check out Ace of Coins. Also, a shout out to the Voice of Kona Radio, 100.5 FM, Mahalo. And I'm going to be doing 2 programs in the new year. One is from my book, End Dieting Hell. It won 4 awards in 2019. 4 awards. End Dieting Hell, How to Find Peace with Your Body and Release the Weight. I'm going to be doing a program on that. And I'm also going to be doing a program on helping people write their book. My book, Great Maui Land Grab, has won its first award under True Crime in the American Book Fest competition. Super excited. That was the one contest I wanted to place in. Got 3rd place. And I'm going to teach you guys how to write an award-winning book. I've already written 2, and I'm going to teach you how to do it really fast. So you don't have to wait years before you see your book on the bookshelf and touch it and hold it in your hands. Okay, so I will be having those 2 programs available at the beginning of the year. I'll be sharing more about that later. And you can find out more information at blossominnerwellness.com. Links in the description. Let's do a quick prayer. Infinite Creator, no matter where these traditions come from, it doesn't matter. Because what matters is what's in our heart and how much we love each other and how much we connect with each other. And this special time of year is all about that. It's about connection, and it's about love, and it's about forgiveness, and it's about peace and joy and harmony. And we call that in. We call that in for all people, Great Spirit. And we are so grateful for this amazing time. And the traditions and those stories, those myths that happened thousands and thousands of years ago, that have been like a telephone line, that have changed and created our traditions. We're grateful for those, because we wouldn't have these traditions in this funky hat if it wasn't for that. So, Great Spirit, we just give so much gratitude for this time in history, because we get to watch as things unfold and the world becomes a better place, a safer place, a truthful place, a place where all people matter, a place where all people are abundant in love and monetary abundance, so that they live in homes that they feel safe in and that they enjoy being in. And we just send anyone right now during this holiday season who feels alone, we just send them some peace and some light and just a spark of hope that things are getting better for them, because they really are. Thank you so much, Great Spirit. Sending just so much gratitude for all the angels and guides that are always around us and always supporting us, and so much more. And so it is. So I want to say a much mahalo to Bodhi, to my friend Donna, to my sister, to my mom, and to all my friends here on the islands. I really appreciate all of you, and all my friends in Santa Cruz, which I miss every day. Okay, much aloha.